Progress often feels slow, even when you're doing the right things, even when effort is consistent, even when nothing is obviously wrong. Days pass, weeks pass, and it feels like nothing has moved. That feeling is familiar and frustrating, because progress is expected to feel visible, to feel rewarding, to feel motivating. But real life rarely offers that. Progress usually feels slow, not because it is absent, but because it is quiet. You don't notice it while it's happening. You notice it only when it's missing. Most people imagine progress as accumulation. More output, more results, more visible change. A steady upward line. But real progress rarely looks like that. It looks like adjustment. Small shifts in how you respond. Slight changes in what you tolerate. Subtle improvements in how quickly you recover. These changes don't announce themselves. They don't feel dramatic. They don't feel motivating. They just reduce friction. And friction is hard to measure until it's gone. Another reason progress feels slow is comparison. You compare your inside to other people's outside. Their highlights. Their milestones. Their visible wins. But you don't see their resets. Their pauses. Their recalibration. Progress is uneven across lives. Different starting points. Different constraints. Different responsibilities. Comparing pace or outcome erases all of that, and makes steady progress feel insufficient. Progress also hides inside maintenance. Keeping something stable. Preventing decline. Holding ground. These don't feel like progress, but they are. In real life, not falling apart often requires work, energy, attention, care. When maintenance is working, nothing happens. And nothing happening is rarely celebrated. Another reason progress feels slow is that it often follows delay. Effort now. Results later. Sometimes much later. Learning compounds slowly. Capacity expands gradually. Systems stabilize over time. The early stages feel empty. You're investing without feedback. This creates doubt. You wonder if it's working at all. But delayed return is not failure. It's a feature of long-term change. Progress also tends to appear after thresholds. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Then suddenly, something shifts. Understanding clicks. Resistance drops. Recovery shortens. From the inside, this feels abrupt. From the outside, it looks like overnight success, but the work was accumulating quietly. Progress feels slow because it is not linear. It moves in steps, not in slopes. Another misunderstanding is equating progress with comfort. If things still feel hard, you assume nothing is improving. But difficulty doesn't disappear just because you're progressing. What changes is your relationship to it. You recover faster. You hesitate less. You adapt sooner. The work remains demanding, but it stops being overwhelming. That shift is subtle and easy to miss. Progress also feels slow when expectations are misaligned. You expect transformation, but progress usually delivers normalization. Less chaos. More predictability. Fewer extremes. These improvements don't feel exciting. They feel boring. And boring is often mistaken for stagnation. But boring systems last. Another reason progress feels slow is because stopping feels faster. Quitting creates immediate relief. The pressure drops. The effort stops. The discomfort ends. Progress doesn't offer that kind of instant feedback. It asks for patience without guarantees. This makes stopping feel deceptively productive. But relief is not progress. It's just the absence of load. Progress also feels slow because it competes with memory. You remember past intensity, past motivation, past clarity. You compare the present to an idealized version of before, and the present feels dull. But dullness often means stability. And stability is the ground where long-term change grows. Progress is not the feeling that things are getting better. It's the reality that fewer things are breaking, that recovery is quicker, that missteps cost less. These are quiet gains, and quiet gains are easy to overlook. If your definition of progress depends on excitement, it will always feel slow. If it depends on durability, it becomes easier to recognize. Progress doesn't announce itself. It integrates. It shows up in fewer crises, shorter setbacks, more room to respond. The goal is not to feel like you're progressing. It's to notice that life is becoming more workable, that you can carry more without strain, that systems hold when conditions change. Progress feels slow because it is subtle. But subtle change is what lasts. Quietly, incrementally, over time. If this helped you think more clearly, you'll probably enjoy the next essay.